legit, so I'm gonna hope. Okay, this looks more. Okay, I think we got it. We got it. We got it. We got it.
We
Okay,
got it?
looks
Are we
like
sure?
it. Looks like we got it.
Cool.
Alrighty. Okay. So it took us a while to get to this moment. You know, we spent like a good like a good hour trying to get this set up. at least. At least. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna wait a few minutes just for the people to get in here, the fans to get in here, and then we're gonna really dive into the Doom games, rank them from easiest to hardest, and figure out which game's the easiest and which game's the hardest. It's gonna be a long, fun stream tonight. But
Bro, I just refreshed the page again to see if you were live, and that was the one I was posting on. Damn it!
oh really? No way, dude. That's crazy.
That's the third time I gotta type this
that's kind of wild.
Oh, I'm getting an Amber Alert. Hold up. Sorry if you hear like serious buzzing right now.
All right. No, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, we got Godzilla Forever in the chat, bro.
This guy's everywhere, man. He's first to everything, man.
I know, he's like he's at the main event. Yo, what's up, Godzilla? Me and IconofSimp, we have a lot planned tonight. But hey, what's going on, guys?
I'm gonna let you chat while I type this out again.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Hey guys, let us know, how's the audio right now? Are we sounding good? Like, how's it sounding?
Yo.
Because we got Icon in here. You know, it's the first time experimenting with Streamlabs. You know, we're upgrading the streams here. So we just want to see how it's sounding. Oh, wow, dude. We got 6 people in already. That's crazy. Yo, what's going on, guys?
Host going up right now.
No, you're all good. You're all good. It's good. Yeah, bro, the Icon of Go is here today. We're live, buddy. It's all good.
And you got the peak ranker over here too.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Always.
Of course, we're ready to go. All right, I think there's enough here for us to get going. Once you're ready, I'm gonna get the page up right here. Oh, dude, no, go away. Go away.
I think this is the correct link. I want to test this before I do it.
No, you're all good.
I triple check everything before I like post it, because like post you cannot redo, if I recall correctly.
No, it's it takes a while to get on there, you know.
All right, it is up. Yeah, man, I'm excited for this. I've never
me too.
Actually
Me too. I'm excited
down
too.
in any way, shape, or form. I've never sat down and just looked at the whole list of games, like even like the more niche ones, like Mighty Doom and Doom VFR, and just rank them all side by side. I'm excited.
No, absolutely. I'm excited too, bro.
Yeah, I have my opinions and what I think, but I'm sure like once I sit them all out in front of me, I'm gonna be like, wait a minute, I didn't realize how critical I was of this game over this one. You know, it's gonna be interesting.
Bro, Godzilla's currently drawing Godzilla as we're having this conversation.
I am on my desk. I have a Bandai. Crap, I used to know this stuff. It's a Bandai. I don't know what year it is. I think it's I forgot which series it is. It might be Movie Monster series. I might be mistaken, but it is a
all right.
2002 silver sticker Terror of Mechagodzilla for all those Bandai Japan nerds out there.
And you actually had like a Godzilla YouTube channel as well, didn't you? Like before you started doing the Doom content. Tell the guys about that real quick before we get into this this ranking.
Yeah, I used to in middle school. I'm currently in my almost mid-20s now. But when I was in middle school, late middle school, I started a YouTube channel, and I got almost 1,000 subs. I stopped uploading after about 2.5 years. But I accumulated over time up to about 1,000 subs. Lost a few because I stopped uploading, but no, I just did a bunch of Godzilla stuff. All that stuff. Love the Bandai toys. Collected so much. I have them all in storage now. It's a shame. But yeah, I loved it.
Awesome, dude. But yeah, guys. So today we're ranking every Doom game from easiest to hardest. We got a large selection of games here. Okay, we got Doom 1. All the way to Doom the Dark Ages. And then at the end, we're going to tackle the DLC because we're going to go into some predictions. We're going to talk about like what we think the DLC is going to be in terms of difficulty, how fun it's going to be, and all that sort of fun stuff, right? So before we go into that, let's read what some of the people are saying. You know, we got Arthur, boss ranker. Bro, I'm doing great. I mean, I had like quite a difficult week, but you know, I'm doing okay today. Things are going pretty good. Promotion time. Bro, IconofSimp, this guy is carrying me right now, buddy. Like, you're the hot guy on the block, you know? But, awesome. So let's get tackling right now. We got Doom 1. Now, Icon, do you want to go into this a little bit before I tackle some of my points?
Sure, absolutely. So there's. Let me look at your list. Hold on. Let me open.
No, it's good. So we got Doom 1, we got Doom 2, 64, Doom 3, the DLCs. We got Doom 2016, Doom VFR, Eternal, the Ancient Gods DLCs, Mighty Doom, Doom the Dark Ages, and of course, some DLC speculation at the end.
Absolutely. It's gonna be great. I'll get to like the Mighty Doom stuff and all that stuff. We're only covering that because there's other iOS stuff, but that's like the most relevant because it's more modernized. But but no, anyways, I'll talk about that later. But no, going back to Doom 1 though, I'm excited to talk about that. Obviously, it's pretty difficult when you compare it to Doom 2 because of its limited weapon amount. But if we're talking just vanilla, like Doom, or we're talking Ultimate Doom, you could argue it's pretty easy because if you take out that fourth episode, the fourth episode is like the tag one of the game, right?
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure, yeah.
It's meant to play last. Like, obviously, all these games you could just jump in and play whichever episode you want. Like, well, at least like the first Doom, you can play whichever order you want. But this game requires pretty much that you mastered everything, kind of like Ancient Gods, and that's what's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
anyways, that being said. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, we're gonna get used to talking over each other there. For those who don't know, we have a latency. So he's in the US, I'm in the UK, unfortunately. So when we're talking here, there's going to be a bit of latency and delay in some of our transitions in between communication.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely agree what you're saying, man. I'd say this game for me, like, I'm not gonna lie, I think Doom 1 is really tough. Like, Doom 1 really kicks my ass when I play it, you know, like, I find it really difficult. And I'm not sure why. I think also because Doom 1 was, like, when I was playing this growing up, I was playing this with my dad a lot, right? So going through the game constantly, you know,
same.
My dad would always take the controller off me whenever I was struggling, you know, all that type of fun shit. But it was really good, man. I had a really good time with this game. But I feel like some of those earlier arenas as well, like the game is really unforgiving and brutal when you get into it, you know? Like those first few introductory levels do not fuck around. Especially like when you get to like dude, what are the stages again? Like remind me. I think it's like stage like 4 or 5 is when it really starts to get tough, especially on Hurt Me Plenty.
Yeah, military base is like once you get like the first 3 levels, I would argue are like pretty introductory. The second level is even more introductory than the first one. The second level teaches you the key layout, the sort of retrace your steps, sort of secret hunting, all that stuff. It really the second level really teaches you everything. So it's not that hard. Third level is more of okay, you're learning more, keep going. Level 4 is where it really starts, but level 5 is where it gets hard, I'd say. Level 4 has a military base, I believe.
Yeah, level 5 was crazy, bro. That one was tough. Like, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Like, that one for me. No, dude, like, when I was going through the game, that level kicked my ass. Like, I died so fast, so quickly, you know?
Well, you're introduced to the Spectre in that level as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Either in the... Oh, dude, I'm blanking right now. It's either in the it's either at the end maze of military base or towards the midsection of Phobos Labs. You're introduced to the Spectre, and you're not expecting that, right?
Yeah.
It's so it's a total, you know, it's a total wrench thrown in your plans. It's insane. It's always terrifying as well for first time playthroughs. That's the first of its kind, and then seeing that, you know, fear factor obviously taps into the difficulty. But no, Doom One is as a whole, it gets progressively harder. But even just that first episode with all the hit scanners, we're going back to the tutorial section of this stuff. The first level, being a tutorial, has shotgun guys. Depending on your difficulty.
Yeah.
Not everyone plays on I'm Too Young to Die, but if you're going to play on Hurt Me Plenty or more, on Ultra Violence, there's a crazy amount of shotgun guys on that first level, and hit scan enemies, they'll kill you.
Yeah, it gets really tough, man. And that's a really good point, too. Like, the enemy variety in that game, it's pretty, like, intense. For a first entry in a series, that game has a lot of, like, unique enemies you go up against, And, and the weapons you get, you don't really get, like, a large selection of weapons in Doom 1. You get, like, the plasma rifle, which is pretty fucking goated. The plasma rifle is really overpowered in Doom 1. It's so good to use. You have the rocket launcher, and the rocket launcher, I have a lot of controversial opinions about that weapon. It's really fun to use. But also the splash damage is fucking insane. Like, when you're close to enemies and you use the rocket launcher, you'll die so fucking fast, man. Especially, like, when things get really intense, and then you have the pressure of restarting the levels. It can get a little overwhelming.
This goes... So I'm about to say kind of combines your rocket launcher standpoint and your limited weapon standpoint. So the Barons of Hell... Barons of Hell?
Yeah, Barons of Hell, yeah.
They are introduced, I think on some difficulties, they're introduced as a casual enemy, as early as E2, M2, because obviously they're the boss of the first episode, but as a casual enemy, they become more common as episode 2 progresses, but they're there pretty early on. So if you have a rocket launcher, and you're all in all these confined spaces and halls and corridors, you have to blow up a Baron of Hell because... you can't really use your shotgun. You can, but that's 15 shots of you just standing there, dodging, almost getting killed, right? So you're probably going to switch to your plasma rifle or your rocket launcher, but because that's if you want to maximize your damage, you switch to your rocket launcher. But if the splash damage just makes it so hard, and if you move too much, you'll get hit with your own rocket. But if you stay too still, you'll get hit by a Baron's projectile, and So I think the limited weapon variety really makes the game harder than people realize.
Yeah, again,
it does. You switch the rocket launcher for all these heavy duty stuff, but it's less open than Doom 2, so you're going to blow up the wall beside you.
No, definitely, and what I want to really bring up about Doom 1 specifically as well is you don't have the super shotgun, and the super shotgun is like the jack of all trades type of weapon. In Doom 2, I'd say super shotgun is pretty much essential for any given scenario. When it's super long distance, then it kind of, it's not as useful as it could be. But for the most part, that weapon, and that being absent from this game, it just makes the game 10 times harder, in my opinion.
Again, I think this game would have benefited from since there's not as much weapons. I mean, one weapon, the super shotgun, makes the biggest difference. But whenever you have enemies that are, Barons of Hell, tanky enemies that are as common as they are, you kind of need more firepower. So I kind of feel like that the first game would have benefited from having Barons as a boss, but then Hell Knights as a casual enemy, to kind of compensate. 15 shotgun shells in a combat arena that's more confined. That's kind of hard to do. It makes it a little tough.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely brutal. So, we talked about some pros, talked about some cons, we've explained why the game is difficult. So, IconofSimp, where would you put Doom 1 on this tier list?
So with Ultimate Doom, I would say it's higher than it is, but most people, when they're talking about Doom, they're not talking about Ultimate Doom, because that's, the game ends at episode 3. The Legacy is the classic game. So I would say like a B, mid B.
B tier. I'm thinking A, bro. I think the game's pretty tough, honestly. I think the game's pretty brutal. Because I died so much on this game. Constantly died, dude. So I don't know. Do you want to compromise and put it in B? Where do you say we put this?
We could do low A. I'm cool with that.
Low
Ultimate
A?
Doom I would definitely say is an A, but
yeah.
I'd say low A. I'm cool with
I agree. We'll put it in A. All right, so before we move on, we're going to read some of what the chat has been saying.
Yeah,
So
someone
we
wants
got a
us to know in
question. We
Texas
got a
speak.
question here from Doom0759, and he said, "Icon of Simp, what is your favorite Doom lore?"
Aside from the classic games, because that's like what I grew up with. We didn't have any Doom media for like 12 years or something like that. I would say, I might get hate for this, but the entirety of Ancient Gods Part One is probably my favorite piece of Doom lore because
Yeah,
it
me
just
too. Yeah.
expanded. Eternal expanded so much. A lot of people hate on the convoluted nature of the Ancient Gods, but I feel like the convoluted aspects of Ancient Gods was Part Two, not Part One. Part One was it just added the story of God and the Makers and the Devil. You know, something we've always wanted to see, and for that I loved it. You know, you learned about obviously like the retcons aside, potential retcons. Um, I would say Tag One added the most compelling lore of the modern trilogy.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Like, I think the lore in those DLCs are so great. Like, honestly, I think it's fucking awesome. But we will do a lore tier list as well in one of these streams. But
Yeah.
today and like, all right. So Doom 2. We're gonna move on to this next spot 'cause I have a lot to say here. First up, I'm just gonna give my opinion right now. I don't think Doom 2 is harder than Doom 1. I think this is a significantly easier experience. Now, I mean, why is that? Well, we have the super shotgun. I think the way these arenas are designed and these encounters are designed, I think it makes for a more forgiving experience. And I don't think the game's anywhere near as difficult, for those reasons. But IconofSimp, what do you have to say about Doom 2 in terms of difficulty?
Before I say anything, Mountain Springwolf, that's insane. He said his dad didn't die once in Nightmare mode for Doom 1 and 2.
Bro,
That's
he didn't
crazy.
die once. That's wild. Right? Really?
Yeah, it's ultra violence, but enemies respawn, and it's just overall unfair. Certain balancing stuff is tweaked, but no, that's crazy. I can't beat an episode on Nightmare. But
Neither can I, bro. I suck at these games. Despite me literally like having a fan base around Doom, I can't even make it through like a run on Nightmare because I did it once and I've told everyone on stream about this. Like I'm gonna say a good 2 or 3 years ago, I attempted a run of Doom Eternal on Nightmare and it was fucking brutal, buddy. Like I died so many times, it was rough.
I
But
mean, I could probably Doom 1, I could probably do it because of its shorter length and its episode structure, but I think if I were honestly to do like Doom 2 on Nightmare, I mean I could probably get through it, let's be real, but like it would be quite the struggle. Um but no, yeah, going back to Doom 2, sorry. Going back to Doom 2, in terms of difficulty, obviously everything you said, I totally agree with. It's a lot easier for those reasons. Yes, you have crazier enemy varieties. You have the most annoying enemy in the world, the Lost Soul, being put on the spotlight with the pain elementals, like they're thrown at you now. It's just insane. But in terms of the spatial environments and the super shotgun basically deleting most uh, medium to small enemies, and when one blast, you kind of have that advantage, and you can run around and avoid getting, you can spam rockets. Like to my point in the first game, the more corridor design of the earlier episodes makes it hard to take on these bigger enemies with the rocket launcher since that's all you have. But now in Doom 2, you have these spatial environments, so you can utilize the rocket launcher more. It's slow, it's heavy, so like you're not going to run into it because of your limited movement options. So yeah, no, absolutely. The level design is its problem of its own, but we're talking about difficulty, and in the spatial environments really make it easier.
yeah, no, I agree with all of those points, man. Those are really solid points. But real quick, we got some questions here from some of the viewers. So what's the first one? So Arthur asked, which boss did you struggle with the most? I'm guessing this is like in the whole series because he didn't say specifically in what game.
Well, I'm not going to even talk about the greatest boss fight, the Dark Lord, but I would say the Mother
Bro,
Demon.
I'm not doing it again, dude. I'm not fucking
Yeah,
spending 2 minutes in another video talking about that shitty ass boss, bro. Like, you know, I literally lost my vocal cords like for a whole day because I was just ranting about that boss, bro. Like, I spent like a half an hour segment. I only used like 3 minutes of that 30 minutes, but I was raging so hard talking about this boss that I literally lost my fucking vocal cords. It was brutal. And I don't know, for me, hardest boss, off the top of my head, probably the Seraphim. I think that one's probably the most mechanically difficult and complex fight.
I'll agree with
Because
that.
all of the others are fairly easy. I mean, even in Dark Ages, they're more spectacle than anything else. But yeah, I mean, the Seraphim is by far the most difficult, and I think we've even done community votes on that in this on my channel, and pretty much everyone agrees with that in a sentiment. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fair. I think most people think the. I mean, even when the DLCs came out, everyone was talking. Even on the streams, everyone was like the Hugo streams. Everyone was just like, "Dude, you created the hardest piece of Doom media ever, including the boss, everything." I think I struggle. Like, I beat them all in Ultra Nightmare, other than 2016. Take it back. I didn't beat Vanilla Eternal on Ultra Nightmare. I made it to Necroval Part 2. But my point is, I was able to beat Sammer on the Seraphim on Ultra Nightmare and all this stuff. And I have my beats down, my stuff, right? But I would say the most the most difficult in terms of like just tedious nature of the stage and the environment and the setup is the Mother Demon. And this is a hot take apparently. I don't know
yeah,
if you knew this,
no.
but
Oh my god, dude, I completely
I
forgot
don't know
about that
how.
boss.
The Mother Demon, literally, if you don't have at least one upgrade, if you don't have at least two upgrades for the stupid Unmaker, it's gonna, it's gonna be the hardest thing in the world. And I'm only saying this is hard and that it's unfair because the Unmaker, nothing in the game tells you about the Unmaker and the power ups. And even if you know about it, finding where the secrets are. I mean, there's three secrets, and then there's 30 levels in the game, right? So how hard is that? How are you gonna find them all? So like normally when I play through it, I'm not the master of 64. I can play most of them with my like eyes closed to some capacity. I've played them since I was like 2, just so much. But 64, I'm not familiar with it. So when I play through it, I'll get one upgrade at most for the Unmaker, and it's just a terrible time for the final boss. It's just respawning and trying again, and then crap, I died. Like the second this freaking Mother Demon came out, so then you just retry again and again and again, and you just hope you can dodge one more projectile than the last run you just did because of
Yeah.
how difficult it is.
No, I
I don't know.
agree.
I
I
just
agree.
Yeah, it's just tedious. It's just poorly designed. Like the arena is the problem.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get to
Like
that. So yeah, they're making a good
yeah,
point. We need to get back on track with these. So I don't know. To wrap up Doom 2, I think we've pretty much got all of our thoughts and opinions on this game. We've made it all pretty clear. This game, I'm saying B tier for this one. I think it is. There are moments of challenge in this game, but nothing too prevalent or overwhelming to the point where it's gonna go in like A or even S tier. And holy shit, we're gonna get to those in a minute. So, but where would you put Doom 2 Icon? I'm thinking B.
um, I'm thinking B, low B. And before I say this, give my final
Yeah, I'm gonna
input.
put it in
I will
B.
say, going back to the whole boss thing. In terms of Doom 2, the boss everyone knows is like tedious as all get out because of again the design of the boss fight and in the arena, the setup of it all. I would say in terms of bosses, I almost said IconofSimp, unironically, dude. Icon of Sin
Dude,
is
that's hilarious. What the fuck?
I was reading it. Someone put it in the comments. I was reading it.
All right, gotcha.
No, it's like the Icon of Sin is a tough fight, but whenever that's just the one level and you can just keep respawning with all the weapons over and over and over again, it's not that bad. And it's just like it's not like the Mother Demon. It's straight to the fight like immediately.
Yeah, no,
Well, sorry,
literally.
it's not bad.
But yeah, all right. So let's crack on
So
with
Lobby.
Doom 64 here. We got Doom 64. I mean, okay. So this one's weird. I don't know where. I don't know where to put this one, bro, because there's nothing. I think Doom 64. Now, I have a lot of thoughts, so I'm just going to say, Doom 64, I don't think the difficulty itself comes from the encounters, or even just the general design or aesthetic of the game. I think what makes this so difficult is the level design, because getting lost in these fucking levels is obnoxious. I remember calling you, bro. Like, I was stuck on a level, like, just walking in circles for, like, at least 25 minutes. You know, had no idea where I was going, and just, it was getting so obnoxious and annoying to the point where I wanted to turn the fucking thing off. You know, but, yeah, that's by far easily the most difficult aspect of this game, and that's just because of how obnoxious the level design is here. But, what do you think?
I think other than Final Doom, are we talking about Final Doom? I can't remember if we settled on that.
We'll just stick with what's on the list now for the sake of being consistent. Now.
I was going to compare it to Final Doom real quick, and I was just popping my brain. Okay, so honestly, I agree with your statements. Obviously, its difficulty is based on less of its combat and more of its environment and its combat puzzle stuff. Like, I would say when you're ranking it with the original games, whether or not you include Final Doom in that, because some people do, some people don't, I would say it's the hardest other than Final Doom, Plutonia specifically. But
yeah,
it has a very tricks and traps sort of like philosophy of their gameplay, and a lot of it is honestly present in Doom Eternal. All of this and the DLCs. There's a lot of environmental hazards and obstructions, and it's almost like a very very early draft of kind of the platforming stuff you see in the modern games, where it's just like crazy stuff and you know, instead of jumping around, you know, it's like these environmental hazards that you kind of got to avoid and work. You know, it's intertwined with the gameplay. So because of the tedious level design, like even the first or second level has that level where you it's like the dark room with the imps, and then like the floors keep I can't remember if there's pits or if the floors just like de-elevate, and there's like a lava pool below it, like an acid pool. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember that one. But real quick, before we continue, Arthur is leaving, unfortunately, which fucking sucks, bro. We love having you around, but we hope you have a wonderful day. You know, take care of yourself. OG, right? That's the OG, bro. So, yeah, well, that's one of the OGs. We can't disrespect anyone in here. Everyone in here is a fucking fan, and we love all of you. But, you know, Arthur, he's one of the GOATs. So, I hope you have a wonderful day, bro. Take care of yourself.
Later, man.
Now, yeah, what were you saying, bro?
Mountain Spring Wolf, Final Doom is definitely S tier. I would have put it in S tier as well.
Okay.
But, yeah, no, like the environmental hazards, like the tricks and traps nature of the game. I don't really know what you would call it, but that's its gimmick of the game. You know, if the first Doom is like grounded nature, and the second is dodging and weaving and like, you know, spatial combat arenas, the third game's gimmick is tricks and traps. Like that's what the game is defined as. Like that's you can't have Doom 64 if you don't have these crazy levels.
Yeah, no, it is. It absolutely is. Like, I mean, this game is absolutely deceptive in its level design. It is constantly obsessed with trapping you and just fucking up your runs. There's a lot of trial and error in this game. Like, dude, do you remember that one puzzle where, dude, I can't remember. There's like an item in the middle of this room, and when you go in, the entire floor collapses around you, and it's almost like a pit of lava that you fall into, and you lose everything in that moment. You know, and there's a lot of moments like that where you'll just fall into a pit of lava, you'll walk on a pressure plate, get fucking shot by an arrow, you lose everything. It sucks, you know. It's just absolutely atrocious, and that's really consistent in this game, and that's where a lot of the difficulty really comes from.
I totally agree with that, man. It's, you know, like I said, the game is defined by that, and that being said, like that's what makes it so difficult. You know, you have a game without Revenants, and it's somehow harder than the first two entries. That's crazy to me.
So everyone in the chat saying this deserves to go in B tier. I'm honestly tempted to agree.
This is no.
I don't know. I think it's B
I'm
tier because
unsubscribing, bro.
you're unsubscribing. You're gonna
I'm
quit the
unsubscribing.
stream live, buddy. You're gonna fucking quit the stream live. No, I
That's
don't
it. I'm
know,
spoiling Iron Lung for you.
bro. Like I'm seeing that on the weekend. If you do that, then it's over. But yeah, I don't know. So here's the thing, right? I normally would put this on C because I think a lot of the difficulty in this game is basically completely eradicated if you've already been through it once. If you know where all the pressure plates are, if you know where all the traps are, your second playthrough is significantly easier than the first. You know. But then again, we also have the Mother Demon, and the Mother Demon boss is fucking brutal. It is absolutely a nightmare. It is something that destroys me every single time I go through it. I don't like the Mother Demon boss, and that definitely increases the difficulty for me. But I'm tempted to put this in B, but where would you put this?
I'm gonna say something for y'all that say B. Just remember that the Mother Demon literally is like fighting the Spider Mastermind without that giant room in the middle where you can be shielded from the chain gun splatter from the Spider Mastermind.
Yeah.
That's how dumb, or not dumb. It's not dumb. It's not dumb. I'm not going to say that. That's how tedious the Mother Demon is. So, but just because that's the final boss, that's the payoff. I'm going to say that's like I would put it on par with I would put it at a high A, but I'm willing to settle for lower.
High A.
Again, this
sorry,
is difficulty.
buddy.
This is not. I'm not saying I like it better. This is all difficulty.
Yeah. I mean, high A. I'm sorry, I just can't. I mean, if it's, I can see where you're coming from, but for me, it's a low B. But hey, I mean, those are our rankings. But let's move on.
We didn't even talk about the lighting, bro. These traps are happening in the dark, and you're saying it's a low B?
I'm just going off my experience, right? This was nowhere near as brutal as Doom 1 for me. Doom 1 was an absolute nightmare, and I was cooked for like half the playthrough. I don't know why that was the case. But yeah, I'm sorry, I can't compromise
forever.
with that. All right, I'm gonna put this above Doom 2. This is a high B, okay? The highest possible B. We can agree on that at least, But okay. Doom's going, bro. Bye guys, I gotta eat, and don't you forget my promotion, Pookie rank. I won't, bro. I won't forget your promotion. Bro, this guy's been asking for a promotion. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
I'm gonna no, the latency's terrible, bro. You're good. I'm gonna answer this guy's really quick. He asked, what do I simp for? I just made this name whenever me and my friends would like make simp jokes, and I would always leave early to go hang out with like my girlfriend or something. So they'd call me a simp. And IconofSimp, I'd always play Doom, so it's like when I made the channel was around that time. IconofSimp, that's all. But Godzilla Forever, Mark said no spoilers. Dude, the internet exists. The spoilers are already out there. Did you already see it? Did you already see it, Godzilla Forever?
He said he had. Well, I can't remember. I think he said he's seen it. I think he said he's seen it a little higher up here.
I'm willing to compromise as a high B for 64, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he has seen it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
are
Doom.
You getting this before me? Okay, I think you are.
I'm looking at this. So I've got my phone open here, so it's like pretty quick when I'm receiving this stuff. So yeah, we got Doom. We got Doom 3 next. Okay. Now Doom 3. So we have, like, the survival horror entry. Oh, no, that's not true. Maybe in the first, like, original release of this game, when you had, like, the flashlight and it was a bit more eerie.
Is that what we're talking about? The original release? Or are we doing the BFG?
I probably should have included both, but, we'll talk about BFG, because that's what I've played. That's what I'm the most familiar and the most caught up on. But, honestly... dude, I don't know. I think this is A, personally. I think this is A. I think this game is brutal sometimes. Like, there's a lot of moments in this game that suck, for me. But what are you thinking of right now?
You have a delete key as a weapon, and it's an A. Are you guys hearing this? You have the greatest shotgun, and the greatest and the worst shotgun in all of gaming. And
But bro, it
I'm sorry,
sucks.
that just yes, but it makes it easy. You could delete, you
Yeah.
could evaporate any lower. You couldn't. I think if you get like a critical hit or something, or if you get like a direct headshot, you might even be able to one shot the pinky. I might be mistaken, but I swear that's in my brain somewhere.
Yeah, potentially for sure. I
It's
don't
it's
know.
un yeah.
I'm thinking about it now. I mean, what I'm thinking, what's really raising this game's difficulty for me, in my opinion, is I'm really thinking about all those times I like die to some random bullshit. Like, there's a lot of things in this game that really screw you over. Like, the enemies here can be quite brutal, especially in the earlier hours of the game. I mean, I will admit, like, the further you progress into the game, it's not really as bad. Like, the bosses in the latter half of this game are a fucking joke. Like, bro, I'm pretty sure, didn't me and you beat, like, the Cyber Demon, the final boss, in the exact same way? We just circled and strafed around the arena until we eventually
Yeah.
killed him. Yeah, it's like, it's
Just
easy.
don't stop moving. It's easy. Just you go around 3 times 4 max, and then by that point you're literally ready to, get the trigger the cutscene. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, for sure.
Um so I'm going to talk about a few things. So one, I know we're talking about BFG edition, but the flashlight makes this game the all the harder. It's like you pick and choose. You have to choose the option to either focus. All right. So when this game came out, this is again why the flashlight's a big deal, and the version you're playing is a big deal, because when the game came out, it was the showcase. This is relevant. I'm sorry. When the game came out, it was a showcase of like graphics and lighting. It was the greatest lighting in any game ever, and that's like
Yeah.
a fact. John Carmack's a wizard. It was the greatest lighting you've ever seen. So it was the darkest game you've ever seen. When BFG Edition came out, they totally got rid of all these lighting, these dark pitch black areas, and now there's a lot more. It's a lot brighter game, a much brighter game. So instead of having the choice to either you can't see, so you resort to your flashlight, only to get jump scared when you turn the corner and have to switch quickly to your weapon and have to wait for the animation before you fire. That's gone in BFG Edition. So that was a very difficult aspect of the original game. There is one of my earliest memories of this game was me sitting in my dad's lap in like 2006. Um, I'm just guessing. It wasn't the year it came out; it was a few years later. But he was playing the game. I'd always be like, "Can we play Doom 3?" And I would like shoot while he moved and stuff, or one the other way around. And we went into Alpha Labs level 3, I think, and there's a trite room, which trites are the little spiders. We were out of ammo. It was pitch black. He equipped his light. All he had is pistol ammo, and he quick saved it when the trites first appeared by accident. So we were stuck at this part where we were just flashlighting enemies, and having to change quick because they're all jumping at you. So having to wait for the animation to change weapons was a huge deal. Um, so that being said, BFG Edition, I think they make this a lot easier. I wouldn't say better. I would say whenever I first played BFG Edition, I thought it was better because it made it faster and more action oriented because you could just have a
Yeah.
shoulder mounted
Yeah, for
flashlight and
sure.
actually see. Everyone agrees with that, but also whenever you look at what the game was, it's a big it's a big no no. With the gameplay was trying to implement, but I would say because of that, I would have to say my feelings towards the difficulty are very, because I grew up with the original one, right? It's so much easier for me. And Mountain Spring Wolf is talking about the nightmare mode. I was going to get to that as well. He's totally right. So nightmare mode in the original games was unfair. Nightmare mode in Doom 3 is just brutal. It literally by default you start the game with, even on Mars City, the first mission when there's no threats, right? You'll start the game and then you'll notice your health will just steadily decline every few seconds. Like every 30 seconds maybe it goes down by like 5% with the minimum of 25. It's crazy. So those two aspects, like the lighting thing, makes like with BFG Edition makes it a lot easier, makes a core component of the original game a lot easier, and in general the whole nightmare mode. If you even want to play that, that's not necessary, but that kind of goes into my ranking as well, because the nightmare mode is, if you're 100% completionist, then you're going to want to play it, and it is just brutal.
I can imagine it being a nightmare, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I've never attempted nightmare mode on Doom 3, but I've heard like very, challenging things about it. But I don't know, with everything considered, like we have the original and the BFG edition. I will say the original, I haven't played it in a very long time, but I'm guessing that's going to be slightly higher than the BFG edition just because of some of the quality of life improvements that probably weren't appropriate for this kind of game, you know? Like, because the problem
Right.
is with BFG Edition is they made so many quality of life improvements that just kills the aesthetic and ambience and general, like, creepy, eerie vibes of the original, you know? And I feel like that's where a lot of the creative decisions, they weren't exactly... They were done with good intentions, but it didn't really service the experience well, you know? But
And again, it was to make it, every Doom 3's biggest like detriment was everyone saying, "Oh, this isn't Doom. This isn't supposed to be this way." So, id Software made it faster and more, they increased the well, they thought they increased the quality of life, and in reality, they just kind of, whether or not someone likes what you do, they're gonna like it less if you change it.
yeah,
Um,
no, I agree.
if it's, if that's how, I'm not saying, like for example, Tag One, the child, when Tag One came out, it was hard, so id Software made some changes. The community had an outrage. We were angry. It's hard. Doesn't mean make it easier. Just leave it. So they reverted
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah.
Uh, most of it at least. But yeah, this is one of those things where it's should be left the way it was meant to be. And I think, hold on, was the Doom 3 re-release? They didn't fix that, did they? They still kept the shoulder-mounted flashlight. The
I
not the
honestly, I'm not
BFG
sure.
edition. So they re-released it in like 2021-ish,
Yeah. Oh
2020
wow.
maybe. I don't
Okay.
remember. Yeah, and they included Resurrection of Evil and Lost Mission, but I don't recall. Maybe someone in the comments can remind me. I don't. I think it was shoulder-mounted flashlight stayed, but still. Um, but anyways, that being said, that makes this game a lot easier than the original version, because instead of taking those risks, you now can do both at once and just have a quick recharge of a flashlight.
Okay. So where are we putting this then? I mean, I'm thinking right now. I don't know. I, I'm gonna put it. I'm thinking maybe. Okay, maybe not A. Maybe I was a bit hasty with the A. Maybe like a middle B. I'm thinking. What about
I would say
you?
middle B.
Yeah, middle B. Yeah, we'll put it there.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
that's okay. And one thing I will add, other than like the destructive shotgun that is the shotgun, I will say having like these there's a lot of health stations everywhere, and you could just like load up on health. That also makes this game, because if you don't touch them and come back, or leave, you can come back to them later when you do need them, if you remember where they are in the level, like even if it's really far back. So that's something in the level that or in the game that I think makes it easier. But just
Right.
something to note. I don't think that won't change my opinion, but that's just something to note.
No, for sure, for sure. So let's move on to Resurrection of Evil. Now, okay, so I'm going to give some brief thoughts on this before we let Icon, say his piece. Resurrection of Evil is absolutely easier than Doom 3, in my opinion. There are so many
Well,
gimmicks in this
absolutely.
DLC. There are so many ways to trivialize the difficulty. Like, dude, in this, remind me, what the fuck do we have again? We have a, oh, dude, I can't even
The
remember.
artifact.
Like, that's right. There's so many. Wait, go into the weapons, bro. Maybe it's I'm too tired to remember them, but I remember there was a lot of ways you can make this easy.
Okay, so you start the game with a pistol. You get the shotgun quickly. It's a DLC, so you're not going to want to have a slow burn of getting all these weapons. But as early as the first mission, you get the artifact. You can't use it until the second mission early on. I believe you beat the first boss. You take his there's these three sort of bosses, right? Like there's some Hell Knight variety hunters. Each
Yeah,
boss you
yeah, there
get
were.
their
Yeah.
sort of soul, I guess. I don't really remember. It's been so long since I played that. Well, 2 years, but you whatever each boss has a gimmick, so there's berserk, there's speed, there's invulnerability. Um, so once you just load up on all their souls throughout the game, you just get increasingly just you become a god. You become the Doomslayer, literally a canon Doomslayer. Um, and you can breeze through the game. You can totally cheese it, and that's
Yeah, no,
this
you
game's
can. That's a
biggest
great way to
setback.
put it. You can cheese it. That's
Yeah,
the word I was looking for. You know, like especially in these like boss fights here, like you can just wipe the floor with the bosses and enemies in this DLC. It's fucking
100%.
crazy. Like you are a god essentially. Yeah, this is gonna go in C tier, bro. I don't think there's any question about that. This was a really easy one. But with Doom the
Yeah,
Lost
I would say
Mission, I so this one, so okay, we had a little argument, okay, about this. Well, not an argument. We had a little disagreement because I think this should be included because it's a fairly substantial expansion. Like it's like at least it took me at least 2 hours to finish this. And it was there was a fair amount of challenge here, a fair amount of gimmicks, but ultimately I think this is probably the easiest entry on this entire tier list. But what are you thinking?
Resurrection of Evil.
Oh no, the Lost Mission here.
Oh, sorry, my screen doesn't show that you moved it yet, so I wasn't
Oh
sure.
right,
Um,
really? Oh
yeah,
okay. It's alright,
I
we're
could be
getting there.
mistaken. Okay, okay, it's good now. Lost Mission. Yeah, I mean you don't really have the whole gimmick stuff, but it's just all the game is, and this goes back into its purpose. It's just Doom 3 was re-released in 2012, and they added I believe it was in-house created. They just added another episode, so it's just asset reuse to construct new levels. So it's nothing special, nothing super challenging, nothing. I don't think it was critically thought out. I might be mistaken there, but all in all, it's just more of the same. Nothing, not a negative. It's just how it is. So it's not going to be anything hard. You have the grabber, which it was a resurrection of evil. We forgot to talk about the grabber, but I wouldn't say that makes the game harder. So I'm not. It's not worth talking about. But you have everything. So you have the super shotgun, you have the grabber, you have you know the mastery of everything is kind of makes it more the same, which makes it not hard at all.
Yeah, I completely agree with all of that. It's just an easier campaign of the two of them. I mean, it combines some of the more difficult elements and difficult enemies, but ultimately, I don't think this is anything really that challenging. I mean, I'm thinking D tier, bro. Like, can you agree with
Yeah,
that? Like D
Low
tier.
C or D.
I'm
You know,
thinking D, but
Yeah, just the length of it alone, and the fact that there's one boss and it's not even a gimmicked boss where you have to learn. It's just shoot it till it dies.
yeah, literally,
And
it's
that was
no
gonna be something I was
challenge.
gonna say. Yeah.
I don't think
Um,
I died
like
once in this entire thing. Now that I think about it.
yeah, you could argue that Resurrection of Evil is harder because it has more depth and more, like a learning curve and more bosses. And like their bosses do have something to learn as you're fighting them, even though you can kind of cheese it. Um, there's nothing to take away in terms of like learning or challenge. It's like when you get a boss, it's not okay. Put your tools to the challenge, figure out what his weak point is, and there's nothing like that. There's no gimmick or a learning curve. It's just play the game, shoot stuff. Shotgun go boom, as a lot of people like to call it, and that's not negative. That's just how it is. Again, like all this negativity aside, I would say, because of the difficulty and because of everything this DLC has, this is what I kind of refer to people to play whenever they never play Doom 3. I'm like, oh, just check out Lost Mission, You got everything there.
Yes, I mean honestly, I wish I did that. I think that
Breezy,
would have
yeah.
been
Because it's,
that would have been a way more forgiving introduction to this game. I feel like I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more if I started here.
yeah, and I say this to Doom fans, not to casual players. When a Doom fan doesn't like or doesn't want to play Doom 3, oh, that's the slow one, that's the boring, that's the dark one. Okay, just, give it a try, play Lost Mission. That's usually what I say, because it's easier, it's more just run and gun and casual. It's just I'm not saying Doom games are don't have a learning curve. I'm saying this one is just the most on par with like what a faster Doom is. If they don't want to sit back and learn anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with all of that. But okay, now this is the star of the show. Well, one of them anyway. Doom 2016. So I don't know, bro. I don't know where to put this one because there's so much to talk about. Like, there's too much to talk
there is.
about, honestly. Like, I don't know if this is. God, I don't know, man. Because the thing is, like, playing this game today, it's not that difficult. I don't think. I get through this game fairly quickly. I don't know, like on Hurt Me Plenty, on Ultra Nightmare and, higher difficulties, it does get more difficult and more challenging, obviously. But, even on standard difficulty, like Doom Eternal can give me a little bit of trouble here and there if I'm not, like, prepared for it. And same with Doom the Dark Ages, honestly, but with Doom 2016, I don't feel that level of difficulty, you know?
Well, okay, so I have two sides to this thinking, so you're right. There's not as much engagement this kind of goes into the whole shotgun go boom thing. I'm not saying this is a mindless shooter. I'm just saying you don't need to experiment that much in this game, and that's not a bad thing. That's just how it is. I keep saying that because like I just want people to realize I'm not hating by any means. Um, but that there's you don't have to juggle and balance and master certain things. It's just kind of like a pick your favorite weapon and have fun thing. And
Yeah.
the depth and engagement of the enemies, each enemy has its own unique purpose, but again, most enemies or some enemies have the same solution. And because of that, it's you think it's easier. But I would say there are things that make it harder. So I don't. I know you said you play on Hurt Me Plenty, but I am normally a Nightmare player because on Eternal it's not fun unless I play Nightmare because of the Doom dance. Same with Dark Ages, but with Doom 2016, the balancing is different. The game is different. The engagement is different. Like you have imps that can climb and can basically just they can one hit you on Ultra Nightmare they're basically hit scanners in this game.
Yeah.
Um,
That's pretty fair.
yeah, and then Godzilla Forever, the two shot double barreled shotgun. You can if you get that early enough because you can if you engage with your arsenal and your upgrades, you can get that upgrade pretty early on, like before the third act or before too late in the third act. Just making the game so easy. Like you can just destroy every super heavy, or I don't even know if they're called super heavies in that game, but like you can just mow down the entire field.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. And the bosses themselves, like the bosses are pretty good difficulty checks here. I mean, they're not too difficult. I mean, I'll be honest, like the first time playing this game, the Cyber Demon did give me a lot of trouble. I feel like a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people they get to the Cyber Demon and that's like the first time the game really gives them a difficult challenge to slog through. And the other bosses aren't
yeah.
too difficult though. I don't know. What do you feel about that?
Well, I will say, I think because of the whole you weren't prepared for the second phase deal, and then you got to learn his new moves. I think that makes a Cyber Demon one of the hardest bosses, but
Yeah,
it's a tough
absolutely.
balance between it's a tough balance between that and the Hell Guards because honestly, fighting two at once is easier than the first phase, but the first phase was kind of tough because like you didn't know what you were looking at. When you see a Cyber Demon, you're going to get shot with missiles, right? But like you see the Hellguards, they keep doing different stuff and just aerial jumping around like crazy. Um, so I think that was the hardest boss. But in terms of boss fights, it wasn't really that bad,
Yeah, I agree. It
in my
wasn't
opinion.
difficult. It was just incredibly fun and rewarding. But
Yeah,
I don't
and that's what
know.
I would say. I would say a lot of the gameplay was fun and rewarding too. It's like um, so this goes back to my point about the whole gameplay over engagement thing where 2016 was more run and gun basic. Eternal was engaging, which made it pretty tough, but once you master that whole you don't have to chainsaw to get ammo in 2016. You don't have to glory kill to get ammo all the time. There's or ammo, excuse me, health. You don't have to do all this specific stuff. um, Making 2016 more easy because not only do you have all these pickups everywhere, but you get up to seven chainsaw slots at once. Like chainsaw pips. All these things that make Eternal engaging. The stuff that 2016 lacks makes it easier, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So what are we thinking with Doom 2016? I don't know. Like, I'm really stumped. I have no idea where this should go. I have no idea. Um, God, I don't
I'm
know.
stuck
Like,
between. I think A is good, man. Like,
I
cause
think it's harder than these three. It's harder than
it's harder.
64, 3,
Yes.
and 2. I'm gonna put it middle A. I don't think I think Doom 1's harder than this, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so Doom VFR. This one's a weird one. I don't know how to talk about this one. God, where do we put Doom VFR? Because I literally cannot play this anymore. I couldn't even go back and revise talking points. You know, I mean, I need to literally buy a PS4 if I want to play this, or get a PC. You know, but do you have any recent experience with this icon? You know, Doom VFR.
So I did replay it after the Locomotion update came out. I don't know when it was, but I played it probably 3 times. And I will say, so do you want to judge it based on its current state or its launch state?
I mean, I've only ever played it in launch, but tell me about the current state.
So with Locomotion controls, it is night and day difference in terms of difficulty. Teleporting around, you can kind of cheese your way around obstacles and projectiles, but at the same time, it's not fluid enough for you to focus on the combat, which makes it difficult. And I would say all the gripes or not gripes, but all the stuff that makes 2016 difficult can be avoided in VFR because of the teleporting. Like
Absolutely.
the imps are some of the freakiest or tedious enemies in 2016 because of their um, hit scan like nature, but that can be avoided if you don't use locomotion controls and Doom VFR. You know, the fact that you have a dash to get around the pinky and exploit that's meant for it. It's not a gimmick. I mean, it's not like a cheesing method. That's what the dash is meant for. Um, the teleporting, the dashing, and then the locomotion. Just depending on what you focus on, it like in terms of like what you play, your play style, can make it whatever difficulty, in my opinion. So it's really hard to rate, because there's a lot of exploits in most VR games like this.
It is, and I'm gonna be honest. It's been so long since I've played VFR to the point where I don't know where I'd put it. You know, like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna say, for the sake of being like authentic and fair, I'm gonna put this like bottom B. I think that's fair for this.
That's fair, because one more point I'll add is you could even say that the fact that some of these levels have the same, because some of these levels are reused, they have the same spawn points as the 2016 enemies. And if you are like me and you've played 2016 10 times before VFR came out, then you know that whenever you get to the BFG division level, you know that there's going to be 3 Mancubuses and a Cyber Mancubus in that one arena when you first get outside. Like that's coming and you see it, so you can kind of predict this stuff. I'm not saying that's like a fair critique because it's you got to judge it as an isolated experience, but that's another thing that made it easier for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with all of that, bro. But let's go into Doom Eternal. Oh boy, S tier. That's where I'm gonna put this. But yeah, there's so many things with Doom Eternal. I honestly have no idea what. No, I don't think it's S tier. I think this is an A, like high A. I mean, because we have this fucking thing right here, the Ancient Gods Part 1. But, I
Yeah,
think
man.
Doom Eternal's high, bro. I think this one's really rough. Every single boss in this game is challenging. Every single encounter
Okay.
has so much care, thought, and effort put into it, and how you're going to overcome it. I mean, what do you think, bro? I think this is a high A.
So I think we can call it a high A, and
High A. It's going in high A
I'm
straight
okay with
away.
that. I would say uh, Yeah, I'm okay with leaving it there. Sorry, I'm kind of second guessing myself because of I don't know. Once you get into the flow state of that game, and that's something that again, my point of the 2016 was 2016 didn't have a flow state. It didn't have all these engaging things that you can kind of
Now, so many mechanics in this
go
game you
off
have to
of.
keep an
Yes,
eye out for, bro. It's like so much to keep an
but
eye out for.
yeah, but once you get into that flow state and you master it, it's just like
It's great.
a ballet performed with bullets. Like it's just like as the critics say, it is literally a ballet performed with bullets. It's like you have it all choreographed and mapped out. You know what you're doing, and you can kind of just let it rip. It's pretty. It's difficult. Yes, it's very difficult to master. But once you master it, I feel like you can just kind of breeze through it like subconsciously, kind of like driving a
Yeah,
car.
1000%.
It's a race car, right? But it's a driving a car.
And you can crash it pretty fucking easily, So it's like it
Okay,
goes
yeah,
both
yeah.
ways.
And that's what I was gonna say. So it could go both ways. So you can master it, but once you make one wrong move because of the intense speed, it's it all comes crumbling down.
Yeah, great way to
I
put
would
it.
say A. I think I personally, like because I know we're compromising here, I would personally make 2016 more. I would put 2016's difficulty higher on the list because I play on Nightmare. That's something that
I
I could probably
agree.
have an easier time
I
with.
agree. I think this is middle
Because
A.
of, yeah,
Yeah, I think this is middle A too. I think that's fair. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'm cool with that.
S tier, bro.
Again,
No
it's
question.
that yeah. Oh my gosh.
S tier.
Ancient Gods 1 is S tier.
Every fucking level in this is rough. Like every single level in this free mission campaign is brutal. I mean, they're the best levels in the entire game, don't get me wrong. But every single enemy type in this game is controversial, they're both obnoxious, and they're both fun. The pacing, literally everything. I mean, this game, I mean, the Seraphim, bro. Seraphim, S tier, S for Seraphim. That alone gets this in the S tier for me. But, dude, and we have the spirits, bro. Spirits too, S tier. Literally,
Everything starts with S, make it an S.
everything starts from S. The double Marauder boss fight. There are so many difficulty skill checks in this DLC. It's fucking insane. But
And
what
that's
would
what
you?
it is.
Yeah.
It's just a big skill check.
I mean, literally, like, I mean, most people, bro, I mean, even if you finish Doom Eternal, that doesn't mean squander when you get to the Ancient Gods Part 1. Because when you get to this DLC, everything you learn gets put to the test. And it doesn't just get put to the test. You won't even be able to fucking finish it. You won't even be able to pass, like, UAC Atlantica if you aren't familiar enough with the mechanics. Like, you can't wing this thing right here. There is no winging the Ancient Gods Part 1. You either compromise or you die. It's like, it's that simple. And that's why it's going in S tier for me.
And again, to your point, the fact that this came out 7 months later, I'm not saying that's a problem, but as an isolated experience, because this could be sold by itself, you are thrown into the deep end expecting to have just come out of the campaign, like, all right, you guys ready for more? It's like, whoa, I just started. What do you mean more? I get it's a DLC. It's meant for the black belt mastery,
Yeah,
people.
that's a great way to put it. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you're going through the no tutorials and the mastery of everything, and then there's a Baron in the first encounter.
Yeah, bro, it's fucking
It's
insane.
crazy.
It's awesome too. This DLC rocks. I love this
It's
DLC.
so good. It's the best piece of Doom media in my opinion, but other than the classics. It's awesome.
Yeah, S tier all the way.
But before we move on, I will say
Yeah.
like the gimmick of Doom 1 is like I was saying earlier. The gimmick of Doom 1 is like the corridor shooter, the compact experience running gun. Doom 2 was a lot of dodge and weave in open spaces. Doom 64's gimmick was the tricks and traps stuff. If Ancient Gods 1 were to have like a gimmick, it would be pacing. The pacing is intentionally just 11, 11, 11, 11 all the time. There's, this was kind of quote unquote fixed in Tag 2, but Ancient Gods 1 was meant to just have all these 11, dialed to 11 experiences. And that's what makes it fun and frustrating.
I'm so sorry. I need to take a sip of water, guys. I'm so sorry. Just give me a second. Actually, Icon, do you mind reading off some of the chat while I just drink this real quick?
Yeah, I got you. Gabriel, Yalmez says, "Do you remember me?"
I do, bro. This guy posts in our community section a lot. Like he is the goat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude. I love this guy. And we got it from Godzilla. S tier is reasonable. Oh, he's referring to when we did Doom Eternal. You know, it still kicks my ass sometimes. Quick swapping, grenade launching, jumping, dashing, all of it. Yeah, it's rough. It sucks. Well, it doesn't suck. It's still
Yeah.
fun, but it is really difficult.
I feel like 2016, while being more simplistic, is harder to jump back into
Yeah,
because
I
of
agree.
the higher difficulty balancing. So Doom Eternal might be easier to jump back into because it has a lot of tutorials, a lot of learning curves. Doom 2016's, I guess, not. I'm not saying it's poorly balanced by any means. I'm just saying the I would say the brink of death system needs to be worked on in 2016, and that's a huge factor and why it's so hard. But yeah, I would personally put 2016 above Eternal, but I do think both could qualify as S tier difficulty games.
Oh
And
yeah,
keep in mind,
absolutely.
this is like based off of the Doom series. If this was based off of games in general, most of these games would all be in the S tier because these are some hard games. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
these are brutal, but it's just in the
Yeah,
context of this series. Okay, so I'm
yeah,
gonna
right.
surprise you, bro. Listen, I think this is valid. Okay, real quick. Marauder is kind of like Skull Knight from Berserk. I've never seen Berserk. I've heard it's a great anime though.
Should we tell them? Should we tell them?
Bro, I'm gonna
I don't
be
think so.
honest, right? This is B tier. I don't think this is even A. Like this is so rough, and yeah, this is so easy. I mean, and the thing is, like, yeah, the Dark Lord boss sucks. Yeah, that fight is completely. I wouldn't even say it's difficult per se. It's just obnoxious, you know. Like it's just irritating. But for the most part, like this DLC, this expansion, it's just the ultimate power fantasy. You know, you're given all of the funnest weapons in the entirety of Doom Eternal. This DLC gives you so many opportunities to go ham. And when this first release, it actually got too many complaints for being too forgiving and being too much of a juxtaposition compared to the first expansion. But what do you think, Icon? Do you agree with a high B? I think that's really fair.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
would say it is. So Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. We said the word or the phrase. You can kind of cheese it. I would say Ancient Gods 2 is the same. You can if you are a master like a black belt of Doom Eternal, right? Ancient Gods 1 is for the black belts. They realized that they were too. Yes, they wanted to make it hard, but they realized they were a little too harsh. So Tag 2, they wanted to make it a little bit more casual, not catered to the casual audience, but make it more, everyone should be able to have fun, not just these sweaty players, right? But no, that being said, if you are a sweaty player, you can absolutely cheese this DLC. Every weak point and every glory kill gives you a pip for the hammer. You can spam it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. That's
If
a
you
really good
take out
point.
every Mancubus and every Revenant can give you right? Each single Revenant, each single Mancubus can give you a whole charge for your hammer. And if you just utilize this in combat, it's so easy.
I mean, there's not really much to talk about, honestly. Like, this entire DLC is a cakewalk, you know? Like, there's nothing about this DLC I find particularly challenging. I mean, the only part that kind of is a little bit of a skill check is at the end of Reclaimed Earth. I feel like that section is really difficult. Well, not really difficult, but it's still, like, easily the most challenging part of this expansion, in my opinion.
They buffed that, They
Yeah,
they
I
added
know.
a final wave after launch, a couple months I think. But I would say the hardest part of the DLC, other than the Dark Lord boss, which first time playthrough I think it was pretty hard. I think they nerfed him or not nerfed him, but they did kind of tinker with his how much health he gets back and all that. Like they kind of loosened up on that. But I do think the hardest part besides the Dark Lord was Reclaimed Earth's a few segments of Reclaimed Earth. Like the first big arena after you get inside in Reclaimed Earth, that one's a tough one. The Slayer Gate in Reclaimed Earth is tough. The final arena is pretty tough with like the remind me, wasn't there two Archviles on the final arena of Reclaimed Earth, like one on
Yeah.
each corner? Or my,
Yeah,
or just
yeah,
one?
there
Okay, I thought
were.
so.
There were. I remember it so well. There were. It was
Yeah,
awful,
I can't
dude. It
remember if it was one or two.
sucked.
I haven't played
Yeah.
that in a while.
Okay. So for Mighty Doom, I'm going to be honest, I haven't played this. I've never played Mighty Doom in my entire life. I'm a fraud. I am a sinner among sinners, but so for this one, Icon, I'm going to let you rank this in
Okay.
terms of difficulty, in terms of where you think this should be. So just go off, bro. Tell us all about this game and tell us what are we in for when we play Mighty Doom.
Absolutely. So so Mighty Doom, I'm gonna, we're this is more for fun, right? Because it's obviously not like a full-on Doom game. It's a mobile game, but with it being short-lived and it has its place in the community where people like, oh, bring back Mighty Doom. It's fun to talk about. So Mighty Doom is probably the few people who played it, unfortunately. Um, its difficulty kind of I feel like it spikes all over the place. You go to the first couple worlds, it's pretty easy, but once you get to a certain point, you can only do so much. Like it's a game where you're just kind of running around. It's an auto shoot type of game. So if you're good at those types of games, you're probably going to find it to be pretty easy. But again, you can't really do a whole lot in terms of mobility, and that's the biggest issue is mobility. But other than I think the energy problem, I think wasn't this an energy based game? Hold on, let me just look it up. Um, this game, I don't know if you're familiar with this boss ranker, but whenever a lot of iOS and Android games have like an energy system where you can only play so much in a day. Yes, it was. Okay, I thought it was. I just wanted to correct myself if I was wrong, but so you get like starting like maybe 10 Sentinel battery energy things, and then each level costs an X amount, and then if you lose like if you are stuck on a mission that's hard and you waste up all your energy, then you gotta wait to do it again. And
Oh,
that's not
wow.
like a difficulty thing, but that makes the game hard to play, right? So I feel like we should take that into consideration. Like I said, it's not a gameplay difficulty issue, but it is a fundamental issue that makes it hard to physically like play. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
Um, So,
So,
I would
yeah.
say this is a pretty casual game, but it does have I feel like its difficulty spikes are kind of um dependent on your upgrades and all that stuff, like which world it is, boss fights. It can kind of go either way. Like I don't have any strong feelings about this. This is more of like a casual game.
Okay, okay. So in that case, where would you say? Would you say middle of the road, like, average, like B tier?
I'd say middle to low B. Yeah, I mean
Middle
it's
to
not like
low
you're playing
B,
Ultra.
so what? So you're saying like maybe above like VFR?
Yeah, I would say just because it has some tedious moments where it's an iOS game. You can only do so much. Like if you're getting cornered by a bunch of demons and you're out of whatever, you can only just kind of run around in circles while you kind of just slowly chisel away at their health. It's like stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. It's
Yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
casual. It's totally not a unique game. It's totally like a reskin of something you might have played before in a way, while having its own unique components. But you know, I don't have any strong feelings about it. It's not that bad
All
in
right,
terms
that's
of
awesome,
difficulty.
man. That's awesome. I mean, okay, yeah, I can agree with that. That sounds cool to me. But it's finally time we talk about the two, quite possibly the reason I even did this tier list in the first place. So Doom the Dark Ages, man. Where the fuck do we put this game, bro? Like, I have no idea. I have no idea. Like, I've played this game probably about 3 times now, and every single playthrough was such a drastic, like, almost juxtaposition in terms of difficulty. Because my first playthrough was pretty casual, I feel like. My second playthrough was a complete, like, joke. And I was playing that on probably, I think I played that on the standard Hurt Me Plenty difficulty. And then on the final playthrough, I attempted the hardest difficulty, and that's where, I was really tested to my limits. I was really shown just how difficult and overwhelming this game can be. But even with that, I don't think this is quite a 2016 or even Eternal. I think this is lower than the both of those. But
I
what
think
about
most
you?
people would say that.
Yeah.
I think most people would say that, and I see some people asking questions. We'll enter them in a minute.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
But I see I see that most people would share that opinion. I would honestly say that it's in between 2016 and Eternal. There are some elements that make this game difficult, or excuse me, more difficult than Eternal. But there is a lot of things that also, I would say most things that could make it easier. And I think it's the fact that the fundamental gameplay design is. I'm not saying it's less sweaty, because there's definitely some sweaty moments. I'm just saying it's less convoluted, right? Like, I'm not saying you have to have a when you have a hard Doom game, it's hard because you're just switching weapons and doing crazy things on your keyboard. But that is also a thing that makes Dark Ages easier, because you have two buttons that you're mostly pressing, right? Even your shield runes are activated, kind of passively, right? Like, it's not an active button you're pressing. You are parrying that you're already doing, and it happens to activate a certain ability, right?
Yeah.
So that the not super crazy quick swipping, you can finish the game with one or two guns if you really want to. It's going to be kind of boring, but the less sort of well, no, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get too critical here, but that in terms of difficulty, that's its biggest. That's where I'd put it in between.
I agree. I completely agree. I don't think there's anything here that is too egregious in terms of difficulty. I don't think there's a single moment. No, that's not true, dude. There are moments of difficulty in this game, but I think the bosses here are fairly easy, especially the ones towards the end. There's nothing here that was really bone-breaking or really just soul-destroying. I felt like everything here was very manageable,
The first boss was pretty tough because it was the vagary. They added in, I forgot what they called them. Dang it, I can't believe it. Basically, they added some updates, right? Where they put some. I don't know if anyone in chat watches the Hugo streams, but he calls them a specific thing. It's whenever they have certain enemies that kind of they linger in combat, they'll keep respawning. But they added mancubi to the vagary fight, and that made it so much easier because it used to be just you in the vagary, and if you're out of ammo, then you're kind of just waiting for your next option to parry in melee, right? Because that's how you get an ammo for the most part.
Right.
So like having these mancubi that you can just kind of chisel away with in the background to farm the resources, made it a lot easier. That's probably the only thing that made this game easier. Everything else they kind of buffed, like they added, they kind of spiced up the encounters throughout the game after launch, and I appreciate that because the game, again, like we're saying it's easy or not easy, but we're saying it's easier, and I'm telling you that most people share this opinion because like that was a fundamental complaint, like a core complaint of this game was the difficulty, being too easy compared to Eternal, and that like how many times did you die on the Seraphim boss fight or a specific Slayer gate, right?
Yeah,
In
no,
Eternal,
literally.
How many times did you do that? How many times did you do that in the Dark Ages, right? Probably cut in half.
Yeah, this was
But
far
now
more
I think
forgiving.
it's balanced. Yeah, absolutely. Now I'd say the balancing is great in terms of like I said, they spiced it up a lot, and then the game desperately needed that. But I still don't think it's easier than 2016.
I mean, that's
I'd say
interesting.
there's a lot. Yeah,
that's interesting. So you would put this in like A tier in that case, like somewhere like in between the two of these. Like, yeah, okay. I think that's fair. I mean, I personally, for me, I put this right around here. I feel like, because I still think this is far easier than pretty much anything in B tier or even C or D. I mean, but for the sake, I think you're onto something here. I do think this is harder than Doom 2016. In Doom 2016, Maybe it's because I've just had like almost a decade of playtime with this game. I'm so familiar with this experience. And Doom the Dark Ages is, it's fairly new. We still have countless more updates, patches to be made to the game to make it even more challenging and both forgiving. Depends how Hugo Martin wants to take that one. But yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
fair. I think that's really fair. I like that. I think we're onto something there.
I think the complexity of the AI in, compared to 2016, like the complexity of the Dark Ages AI is far more, like tuned for a spicy situation. They're all more unique, more I guess like they all have a learning curve. But at the same time, which again, this is a core complaint of the game. A lot of people think the parry system makes this kind of an exploit where like yeah you have these crazy AI that are like so unique and they can do all these crazy things compared to 2016 or Eternal, but then as soon as you see a little green hell surge projectile you can put them down immediately, and that kind of just contradicts their whole you know like difficulty. But that's the gameplay loop, so
Yeah. No, absolutely.
it's complex AI. Oh, now they're easy because they have a parable projectile that'll put them in the stun state or whatever. uh but that's the point of the game, right? So is the game too easy, or is it poorly balanced? It's everyone has this idea that this game's balancing is over the place, but I really don't know in terms of difficulty.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and Godzilla brings up a really good point here, and it's the fact that there's multiple different difficulty sliders that you can manipulate to trivialize the difficulty of certain sections of the gameplay. So yeah, you can make this game as hard or as easy as you really want it to be. That's a really good point he made. But even with that, if you don't manipulate any of those things, I still think this is a fairly challenging experience, and I think it's worthy of the A tier. But now it's finally time that we discuss the final entry on this list, and it's the unreleased DLC for Doom the Dark Ages. Now I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about this DLC because I try and keep out of the void with this stuff. I really want to play this and be surprised, be excited, be anticipated by whatever id Software has in store for me. But IconofSimp, on the other hand, he is familiar with a lot of the, behind the scenes of this DLC. So do you want to go into that, bro? Do you really want to discuss, like, everything we can expect in this? Or where you
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
this is going to land, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of difficulty, absolutely. I'm not sure if you caught the stream this past Wednesday, but some more spicy story stuff was revealed, and I'm sure everyone in the comment section knows about that because they're yapping about it. Do you want me to tell you about it, or do you just want to wait?
I mean, I know about the Khan Maker. I know, like, Daisy's going to come back and a bunch of exciting
Okay,
stuff like that.
it was the Daisy one.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
freaking out about the Daisy thing.
That's kind of wild. We're going to see the fucking rabbit finally. I'm
yeah,
looking forward to it.
32 years, man. 33, whatever. But no, in terms of difficulty, there was the whole idea that, oh, this is Doom the Dark Ages. This game was called easy by the critics, so now they have to release something hard like Tag 1 again, right? Well,
Yeah.
no, they're not. They want to focus on pacing, right? And I think that makes a good game is pacing, which is what made your deciding factor of Tag 1 to be good or not was pacing. But no, the DLC wants pacing, and they're gonna, it's obviously gonna be a mastery of the base game and everything you learned over 22 levels, give or take, because of like the whole Atlan stuff. But whether you thought that was easy or not, the DLC will be more challenging than the base game for sure. But you will be giving critical tools to solve new problems, which as we have seen with the hammer, might make it easier. Who knows? We don't know yet. But even though the game won't be as difficult as Tag 1, which is what everyone, the core fans want, it will have optional encounters. Whether they're called Slayer Gates or not, it will have an equivalent, which will give you like Holt Slayer Gate level difficulties, according to the game director. So that's something to look forward to. It's got a, and it doesn't stop there. It's like the difficulty from combat is one thing, but another thing that this game lacked, that Eternal, we didn't even talk about the platform much for Eternal, but the platforming in Eternal was, what made it difficult for a lot of people as well.
Yeah,
But
no,
that
absolutely.
was that was largely absent from the Dark Ages. But this platforming stuff and these puzzle gimmicks are going to have a greater, more prominent appearance in the DLC, which is again, if you're like me and love that stuff, then the difficulty will be welcome, the challenge will be welcomed. Um, so for those reasons, I think it has potential to be the next next hardest to tag one.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be an S tier. I think this is going to be rough. I think this is going to be probably the most challenging fair content we've seen from Doom since Tag 1, you know? Especially with, even the Metroidvania aspects they're introducing into this DLC, which you briefly, touched on there. The fact that, the first playthrough of this might be extremely challenging and brutal. And then on subsequent playthroughs, when you get more upgrades, you discover more regions of the environments, that will begin to make this easier and easier as you go on. But then again, it's all entirely ambiguous. We have no idea what to expect. It's all
You really
just
don't,
purely
yeah.
speculation. But there we go.
Yeah,
That's our
Hugo
tier
Mark.
list. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say there, buddy?
Sorry, I want to add on to a little bit more on the DLC. So
No, go
like,
for it. Go
you
for it.
know, Metrovania stuff, right? So 70 to 75% of the game will be completed when you beat the campaign. That means what is there remaining? Like these are going to be, post game content, right? Like post unlockable encounters. Those are going to be hard stuff. You've mastered everything at that point, including the new toys, which there's potentially going to be 2 new weapons, right? So I think we can look for some crazy stuff. All this optional stuff is going to make it tough. But yeah, that's how I feel. I think it's going to be some of id Software's best work. They always go on all day, but we gotta limit ourselves here. But that being said, Hugo and the team, they always learn from their mistakes. So with the stuff about tag one being too hard and Dark Ages being too easy, I think they're going to nail it. With the difficulty of this DLC, they make it one of the hardest things they've ever made, but make it paced, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I want to see. I really want to see a fair, balanced gameplay experience, and I have no reason to suspect that's not what we're going to get. So, I'm really looking forward to it. But,
Absolutely.
yeah, that concludes our tier list. I'm really happy with this. I want to say as well, I'm sorry, guys, if we haven't been responding to messages consistently. This is our first time doing this. It's going to be a little rusty. It's going to be a little... it's going to be a little all over the place in terms of quality, but what's important is the fact that all of these are ranked. I think in future what we should do when we're ranking this stuff is maybe in between each segment or each ranking, we'll have like a communication phase with the audience. I think that's what we should do going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, with what he was saying, it being the first stream and all, and we're kind of figuring things out. Like there's only so much we can say. I have so many more points to make, about like I said, we didn't even talk about the traversal sections for the
Yeah.
traversal sections for the Eternal. There's so much we could say, but we got to limit ourselves because we can't live stream for 4 hours or something like that.
Yeah, literally, there's too much
Like
to talk about, bro. It's just like
like
lightly
I could
touching
tell
on
you, yeah,
things. Yeah.
I could tell you about how in depth and difficult some of the bosses are in these games. Like the Dark Ages, we didn't really talk about it that much, but some of that stuff was pretty tough. Especially the final battle. I would say not the final boss, final battle where you have the 3-phase Azrak. That's some tough stuff. And my point is, you have all these things that can contribute to the difficulty that we just don't have time to talk about.
Yeah, we don't. We
But
don't.
yeah,
But ultimately, I'm happy with this. I think we're right on the money here. I think everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. I mean, real quick, just off your own judgment here, are there any last minute revisions you'd make to this tier list?
me or the audience.
I mean, that's a good idea. Guys, what do you think about this tier list? You know?
I will. Yeah, I
Do you
will
agree
say.
with
I see
everything here?
someone in the comments. I wanted to respond to it earlier. They said Final Doom is the hardest, and they asked if we played the expansions from Final Doom. But again, like we're not ranking. Like again, this can go on all night, but we're kind of limiting ourselves. We would love to do Final Doom. If he hasn't played it, I have. I would put it at number one personally. Maybe on par with Tag One, but also maybe harder. It's kind of eh. Um, Specifically Plutonia experiment. With all the hit scanners. Oh, you got the hit scanners in both, but they're more abundant in Plutonia and the Revenants. It's crazy. We'll talk about those later. Final Doom, but like another stream. But Final Doom, yeah, tough. Evolution isn't as tough, but it's still cool.
Right. Okay. So we're pretty on the money here. But before we wrap up the stream, guys, are there any questions that any of you have? I'm just quickly going to respond to some of these comments. I'm really sorry if I'm slurring my words, if I'm getting tired. The truth is, it's getting late in the UK. We're looking, it's like 2 a.m. I'm an early bloomer, I get tired super early in the day.
Dare I say, if anyone has a lore question, feel free to ask.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, we're also going to be streaming on Icon's channel soon. I mean, he has some stuff to set up in terms of streaming. He's super busy. He has a really busy personal life. But when he's
Absolutely.
ready and he's ready to, get this on the road, then we'll be streaming there as well.
Yeah, man. I was gonna kind of segue into that as well. Yeah, we plan on making this a series, and whatever the topic is, that's kind of we're gonna bounce back and forth, and whatever the topic is, that's whose channel it's gonna be on, and we'll kind of maybe get a name going for this and like a title, and kind of get it going. So yeah, Fallout Nerd, there's your answer. Did you see Andrew Holschult did the soundtrack for Iron Lung? Yes. Absolutely. Actually, I was, fun fact, today years old when I found out that it was the same David who made Dusk, and I love Dusk and the games made by that stuff, by that developer. How did I not know he made Iron Lung, man? I feel so out of the loop.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm seeing the movie on Sunday, so I'm gonna really like try and listen out to his compositions and see how it sounds. Because I'm super stoked, bro. I think that's gonna be awesome. That movie itself is so controversial to the point where I have to see it. I have to see why everyone is so damn conflicted on this movie, Because I think a lot of the controversy comes from it being like a bottle movie, in the sense that it's one person in the extremely isolated location, and that's what brings forth most of, people's issues with pacing, being bored, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Someone, I forgot where to go. Oh yeah, what is it's a little grammatically incorrect. The most favorite Doom design character, in terms of the Doom Slayer, I would say the Praetor suit. In terms of just like the series with like how concept art and overall design. Visual design, I would say the maker imagery is insane.
That's really cool stuff, really juicy stuff there. Yeah, I agree. Like, dude, the Khan Maker is one of my coolest character designs out of literally anything in gaming. Like, the boss itself sucks, but like the character design is crazy, and I can't wait for her to return in the DLC.
It's almost like it triggers some megalophobia and stuff.
Yeah, like almost cosmic horror like in a sense.
Yeah, almost. And that
for
kind
sure.
of goes into the lore too a little bit, potentially. But watch a short lore video beforehand of Iron Lung. Actually, I would recommend not doing that.
I don't want to do that. I want to go in blind.
I knew nothing. I was blind. I knew it was a blood sea and stuff, and going in blind, man. There's a point in the movie where I should have picked up immediately what was going on, but I did not until like my drive home. It popped in my brain, and I thought about it, and I looked up a video, and it told me. But there's this one scene where you figure out what the how how I word this last point, what the threat is, and I should have known because of just the imagery, right? So once you figure it out, you grow to appreciate the story more, and it's understandable, you know. Um, but yeah, awesome.
I mean, I agree. I'm looking forward to it, dude. I'm so excited to see Iron Lung. You know, I think this is going to be a case where I'm seeing this with my family. I don't think anyone in my family is going to enjoy this. I think all of them are going to hate this fucking movie. But the thing is, like, I'm looking forward to just experiencing someone's, like, passion project. You know, Markiplier is somebody I grew up with as a kid. I fucking love Markiplier, man. He's awesome. So having that opportunity to be there and experience that movie, even if my family doesn't fucking like it, just sitting there and just watching Markiplier's like masterpiece on screen, that's gonna be worthwhile, dude. And in an age of so much slop, so many bad movies, I'm really looking forward to having this moment.
It was an experience. I will say, even if I didn't like the movie at first, I grew to appreciate it more over time. Sorry, guys, I didn't like it at first, but it was an experience. It was very fun for a first watch. Mixing issues aside, it was fun to watch. Do you mind if I read another question?
Yeah, go for it, bro. I mean, yeah, we're
man,
probably going to do this for like another... We're probably going to go to about like 12 more minutes here.
Okay. Someone asked, do you guys think that there should be more advanced suit options in Doom the Dark Ages? In terms of like base game or DLC? Because in base game, I do wish... this isn't really a suit option, like an upgrade, but I wish the the shield runes, I wish they were charged with a... I wish they were charged with the Hell Surge, and before, instead of activating on impact, they you had like a 5-second window of clicking a button and an input to activate them. I feel like that would be more, I guess, satisfying. I don't really know. This is me personally. In the Dark Ages DLC, I would like to see a equivalent to support runes as an option. That would be cool.
Yeah,
cosmetics wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, though? I'll let you finish that.
What was the question again? It's like 2:30, dude. I'm getting tired.
Well, they just added on to it saying like cosmetics wise.
What can you add to it, like, by now, right? Like, they've pretty much done everything you could ask for, you know? They made Doomslayer essentially a king of just destruction and chaos in Dark Ages. They gave him a cape, they gave him a crown-inspired helmet, you know, his armor is badass. I think the only thing I can think of, maybe, it's not even cosmetic-wise, but just, like... I think I want like a Doomslayer themed like battle sword or battle axe or something like that, like a melee weapon that's in the theme of the armor. I think that would be really cool.
We might be getting that with the spear. We'll see.
Hopefully, dude. Hopefully.
If it is a spear, yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna answer this question before I take a piss. What Doom game has the best map design? I'm thinking about it right now. Definitely not Doom 64, that's for sure. I'm gonna say like...
Wait, really?
No. Oh, fuck no, dude, no. Don't bait me today, bro. Like, no, dude, like, I'm not doing that. Like...
I'm not rage baiting, bro. Like, I'm not saying it's bad map design, I'm just...
Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking around, bro. I'm joking around. But I'm probably saying like... Oh, dude, Doom Eternal, it has to be. Like, that game, especially... the Ancient Gods Part 1. That has my favorite map design.
Beautiful, man.
Every single map in that DLC is so meticulously thought out. In not just its, you know, enemy encounters, not just its boss fights, but in terms of just the aesthetics of every single environment you traverse in that DLC... There's so much lore in every single level. There's so much cinematic presence and spectacle in all of its set pieces. I can't think of anything bad about that DLC. I think every single placement in that tier list I did of the rankings of every Doom Eternal level, I completely stand by all of them. Like, they are all S tier levels.
They are. They're three of the best levels. I would say that they're... Whether you, like... whatever you like in a Doom level, they are easily, objectively, all three in the top 10 best designed Doom levels ever.
Absolutely. 10 out of 10 experience. But, Icon, do you want to take these next couple of questions while I just skedaddle for a
Absolutely.
second? Awesome, dude. I'll be with you in
Absolutely.
just a moment.
All right. Have you played Sigil and Sigil 2? Yes, I played them both on launch. I played Sigil 1 a little early because I got the Buckethead pack that lets you kind of off of the Romero store. You can kind of get it a couple days earlier, if I remember correctly. They're both fun. I like them. The first one I would say is more memorable. I think most people like the second one better, but uh, it got a lot of hate for its not only its lack of Doom 2 environment and assets, but it it had a lot of kind of got a lot of heat for its tight level design. Like it was too, you know, too survival, like kind of survival horror with their ammo amount almost, and their very narrow tight map design. But I liked it. You know, it was fun. Um, have you ranked every suit like the unicorn one? I have not. I'm gonna ask the boss ranker when he comes back. I'm sure he'll do that next, like next video, if you ask him. Yeah, Sigil 2 I like a lot. I prefer Buckethead over Thor's score. Funny enough, but both had great level design. What is the best Doom gun in the series? Oh goodness, that's a good question. Best Doom gun in the series. I'd say rocket launcher or the super shotgun from classic Doom. I gotta say, they're both so satisfying to use. My favorite Godzilla movie has always been, and honestly, my channel's like vibe was based off of it too. Was the Showa movie, the Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla from 1974. That was the best suit, best villain, best story, everything. It was great.
All right. Can you hear me? What we've
Yo
been
yo.
talking about here?
Someone asked if we played Sigil. I was talking about the Sigil games and what I think of those.
Okay, cool.
And someone asked about the Godzilla channel. Godzilla did actually. Oh, I meant to ask Godzilla. What Godzilla design were you drawing? Like what movie?
Oh,
What
dude,
suit?
I'm gonna guess. I reckon he was doing Shin Godzilla. That's my
Is that
prediction.
his favorite?
No, that's just my favorite. He fucking bro. When we do QuakeCon this year, we're gonna have to watch Shin Godzilla -1. We're gonna have to do a Godzilla
Absolutely.
binge, bro. Those movies are just so
That's the
peak.
You're doing the QuakeCon reveal? Yeah, we're going to QuakeCon.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're going
Six.
QuakeCon. I don't know if
Yeah,
any
yeah.
of you guys are going QuakeCon, but if you are, I guess we'll see you there. You know.
Someone asked. Fallout Nerd asked if you ranked every suit, including the unicorn suit, like all Eternal
No, that's
cosmetics,
something
and you should.
I'm gonna do a video on that. I'm gonna do a video on that. I don't know why I've been holding back on it. I've tried it a couple of times. It's just a really difficult video to really rank because so many of the suits are the same, you know, and it's like I'm trying to like think, okay, well, do I have like a selection of suits and just rank them all at once because so many of them just fall into the same categories. You know what I mean? Like so many suits in Doom Eternal have the same
Yeah.
design, just different color palettes and stuff like that.
Oh, the Astro Slayer, the Midnight Slayer, the Green Slayer.
Yeah, it's like it's
You
just
can
I don't
only
want it
go
to
so
sound
much. Yeah.
repetitive. Yeah, it's like there's too many in that fucking game. Like, you know,
You
it's
could honestly just kind of just name them off. You don't have to. Some of the more basic ones you can kind of just name off. You don't have to get into the nitty gritty and
yeah,
in depth and all that.
I was honestly just thinking of just doing, you know, S tier, A tier, like I'm like at the boarding control, you know, like um I don't know. Like but yeah, let's see what else we got here before we wrap this up. Um
Godzilla -1 was what he was drawing.
I
I
knew
haven't
it.
seen that
I
movie
knew it.
still. I cannot believe it.
Godzilla -1's incredible, dude. Like we have to watch that movie. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But oh, there was a question here I really wanted to answer. It's what is the best Doom gun in the series? Now, funny enough, that's actually one of my next upcoming videos. And before I touch on that, I'm really sorry about the quantity of uploads recently. Recently, I've been doing exams, I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. I haven't been able to make videos as much as I want to, which kind of sucks. I really want to get back into the rhythm. But to answer your question, I don't want to spoil it, but I'm pretty sure it's something from Doom Eternal. It's something called the Super Shotgun, dude. That is probably the best gun in this series, in my opinion. If not that, probably the Pulverizer or the Shredder. I really like those two as well.
Yeah, I mean, I actually put my inputs on that. They were more basic than that. I just kept it simple, and I love the rocket launcher. I talked about it earlier how it's just so satisfying to use. It's so powerful. It's so devastating. You could outrun. It's probably the most thinking part of the most engaging part of classic Doom is the when to use the rocket launcher, how to use it, where to use it, who to use it on, how it affect you. Like there's so many qualities of the rocket launcher that makes it fun to use. It's the most important weapon in the first Doom, in my opinion. But it's also the most you have to always be thinking about what's around you, who's behind you, the environment. It's like all these tight spaces and all these you know you don't have you have high enemies and you have low enemies. There's not a lot of in between enemies like there is in Doom 2. In
Yeah,
terms
no,
of like
absolutely.
HP and all that.
So, yeah, well, just to wrap this stream up, and don't worry, Gabrielle, we're going to answer your question in just a second here. I just want to say this is a first attempt stream. I'm going to be honest, this stream, there were parts of it that were a little clunky. We're trying to, like, definitely figure out the pacing of how to do these things. And we will get there with time and experimentation and practice. Doing this stuff, it takes a while, to get to that point of quality. But for a first attempt, I think we did pretty good. Wouldn't you agree, Icon? I feel like we did a pretty decent job.
I had fun. I mean, this is
Yeah.
we're going to get into more complex topics and more convoluted topics. This is kind of just a topic that would, we can get our foot in the door and we can just kind of yap about. That's why, you've noticed a lot of this was a bunch of yapping. Nothing was scripted, nothing. We did this with no notes. This is just from the heart, what we kind of think on the surface level and from the heart directly. And we'll get into more complex topics later, whether it's lore or rankings and all that stuff. More fun stuff, less stuff you've seen before on YouTube. More stuff that are the more niche stuff that you wouldn't
Yeah,
expect to
absolutely.
see.
I will say, going forward, we're going to do these streams a little earlier than this, because I think
I'm
at a
so sorry
certain
it's so
point,
late for you,
like,
man.
no, it's cool. This was a spontaneous stream. We weren't actually supposed to be streaming tonight.
It's
But
supposed to be
in
last week.
Yeah, but we were supposed to do this last week. But in the future, what we're definitely going to do is do this at an earlier time where I'm more awake, more energized, more focused. Because when it's 2 a.m., 1 a.m., it's really hard to be energetic and really express your thoughts in a way that's, easy to digest. So I'm going to do that going forward. But for the most
I
part,
agree with that.
bro, this was a good first attempt. We're very grateful that you sat through this and watched the stream. And before we wrap up, we're just going to answer this last question here from Gabrielle. And that is, what is your... I'm guessing he's saying, what's your favorite Doom campaign in terms of narrative?
In terms of
Um,
narrative,
yeah, Doom Eternal for me, I'm going to say. I think that Doom Eternal's solid, man. I love Doom Eternal.
I'll say this. I go into what I said earlier. I say Ancient Gods, Eternal or Ancient Gods. They both had a lot going for it. 2016 was the most impactful in terms of like, it was a revival. It had a lot going for it. But in terms of what it did to the story, like it's a tie between Eternal and Tag One because I feel like Tag One introduced so much while cleaning up a lot of Eternal's messes, but
I
Eternal
agree.
as a whole introduced so much. You know, uh, and that's not a bad thing. You had these like you had these essays for each codex entry, but that was also like I don't care how long it is. I want to read more, man. Like give me more. I'm that kind of guy. So like I'm fine with it. Um, I like the lore dumps, and I like of course I want to see it in action, but like I don't mind the expansion of the universe being done the way it did. We got so much in one game with 13 levels, and for that I'll have to say Eternal. Just the impact overall, it
Yeah,
did
it's a
so much
great way
more.
to put it. I completely agree with that. But anyway, guys, that wraps up our stream. Excuse me. I'm gonna probably head to bed now. It's getting really late. um, I mean, hey, I'm probably gonna stream tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be doing it with Icon or not. We're gonna have to discuss that in our own time. But for the most part, guys, I hope you have an incredible day, depending on what time it is. I have a lot of viewers from the US, so if you guys are having a great evening, continue having one. And, like, comment, and subscribe on the videos, the streams, all of that stuff. It greatly supports the channel. And go and support IconofSimp too. He makes fantastic essay lore videos. And if you really want to dive into that side of the Doom community, then that's a great place to go for that type of content.
I appreciate you having me, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I had an amazing time, but we're going to wrap it up here, guys, and we're going to see you again real soon. So have a fantastic day.